Okay, Ziggity Zig normally talking his way to browse, but today is Tuesday, so that means Tuesday is basic shit day. So where I just like to talk about some things that I didn't know a long time ago, or even recently in some cases, but now I do. So, last week we went over some force fields just to have a quick look at how force fields work because I was breaking them constantly. And now today I'm going to have a quick peek at something I want to call adding and subtracting, which is mostly done all with the shift key. So we're going to do a whole bunch of stuff with the shift, well, not a whole bunch of stuff, but some stuff with the shift key. Now, as you can see down here, I've got a couple things set up in my hotkey. For example, if double tap 1, I'm over here at my unit, double tap 2, that's my main probe, double tap 3, that's just what I had set up as my main set of gateways. Double tap 4, and that goes to my main base. Now, in this case, I have just set up a proxy base. Pardon me while I quickly do this. Here is my proxy base. So I want this to be on my hotkey 4 as well. So the fastest way to do that I found, and I learned this while I was playing, because normally you select one thing and then you hold down shift and you select another thing and then you select a third thing, and there you go. Then you have to set that to a control group. But to get it faster is you get your control group set as just a 1. Now watch this. If I select that and I hold down the shift button and hit 4, now I've got 2 on 4. You've just added that to your 4 group. So now my 4 group, if I hit 4, boom. Now I can get some probes coming out. Now the next thing, you've probably seen Destiny do this if you watch Destiny. You've probably seen Apollo do this every now and then. If I want to split my probes up, so I send some down to my new base down here, this is what he does. He sends them all to this one patch of minerals, but then he holds down the shift key, because if you just click one of these guys, then it's going to select one of them. But if you select them all, hang on, you guys came down here too fast. If you hit them there and then hit shift and select, then it subtracts some. So you hit shift each time, then what you get is them all going to a different spot. Okay, it's a lot easier to see that. Sorry, I'm just going to take care of a couple things. It's a lot easier to see that if you use units. So if I use these 6 units, let's say I send these 6 units down to this base down here, but then I shift select 2 of them, so now I'm 2 less, and I tell them to go right here. So now I'm only getting 4. I shift select them again, and I get 2 totally different ones. So those first 2 that I removed from the group, they go to the last place, or the first place that I told them to go. Once I remove them from the group, they're no longer interested in what's going on. So let's bring all 6 back here so I know what's going on. Meanwhile, I can quickly go back to my hotkey of 4, get out another 2 probes. I'm doing well. I probably got these going. So let's quickly select 6 of these guys, and I can say, go here, shift, click, 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 and I get 3, so I send 3 over there. So now I've got 3 in each, even though I selected 6. That works a lot better from a distance, but it still works. It still works quite well. I think that's the main things I was talking about. So if I wanted to add that, my group of 3 gateways, let's say I still had, without being warp gate, and I wanted to do that, there I go. The other really cool thing, here's my probe. Let's say I don't really have much room. Let's say I want to make 2 robo bays really fast. Here's 2 robo bays, and then he goes back to work. I don't think he was in there. Oh, he was. Bugger. You can add these. So I have nothing in 5, shift 5. My other one, shift 5. Now they are both in shift 5. I can even set a rally point. Even though they're not actually made yet, I can add those and subtract those using the shift key. Oh, that's the other thing I could use the shift key for. The other thing that you obviously use the shift key for is you click here, then you click there. This changes their direction. But if I hold down shift, this tells them to go back and forth. So you're just adding to their list of things that you want to do. The same thing goes for what I just did with the probe, actually, is I wanted to make, well, I wanted to make a council. And then after that, I wanted to make a, I couldn't think of what to do fast enough. Probably a Stargate. and then... Okay, let's just make several stargates. So if I hit shift... Oh, wait, didn't have any space there. So he makes 2. Oh, I actually canceled that. If you lift off shift... Oh, look, here comes some people to kill me. If you lift off shift, then that tells them basically forget what you're doing. Here's another useful idea for shift. I tell them to go here. I tell them to go there. That's not very exciting. So if I tell them to go here, and then I tell them to move a bit. So they're on attack move to a spot. So they attack move there, and then they move back. So here we are. If I attack move up this, then sometimes they stop, and this guy in the back, he doesn't know where to go to. Did you catch that? The guy in the back couldn't attack because the ones in the front, since they're ranged units, they weren't attack moving. So if I tell them to go up the ramp and then attack move, then they'll go up the ramp. That's kind of slow because you saw how some of them got stuck trying to figure out what to do. So the other thing to do is to tell them to go up the ramp, and then as soon as you see something's happening, quickly hit S. S down here tells them what to do. I know S isn't really part of... Why are they nuking me? S isn't really part of the whole adding and subtracting, but that's just something that you want to do to offset the adding and subtracting. So anyway, that's how to quickly use the shift button pretty often. I mean, the other quick way of doing it is you hold down the shift key and you're just adding. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4 probes. Let's go down here. Okay. Subtract. Send 3 of them there. Subtract. Send the other 2 there. Subtract. Send 1 there. So now I got 4 probes going in 4 directions. So if you're watching the minimap here, it's been a while since I told them what to do, but they are slowly doing that. So if you want to expand, or if you want to send probes and put them places, and get everyone going into gas, if they need to go a long way to their base, there, double-click the stargates, shift 6, now I have 2 stargates right there. VV. Shift 6. The shift button is so useful for adding them to hotkeys. It's just so incredibly cool. He just killed all my units. I don't care. I'm going to quit out of this. So that's adding and subtracting in a nutshell, which is much better than the first time I attempted to do this BBS basic shit the first time. And you know how long the first time was? 20 minutes. That's too long! So I said, no, I'm doing it again. So this is the concise version of basic shit. And 5 more talking his way out of bronze coming up, followed by next Tuesday. We'll see you again for another basic shit. So that's me, ziggyzig@gmail.com. If you want to send me an email, follow me on Twitter @ZiggyStarCraft. Stay tuned.